Hey guys, I'm Sarah. Welcome back to my channel. Today we're going to be doing a very exciting video. I did anticipated releases from January to April several months ago. I will leave a link to that video in the description in case you missed it. I'm going to be doing the next 4 months, which is May through August. I'm going to be doing these months and their books that are coming out that I'm most excited for. So yeah, this is definitely a part 2 to that. I'm very excited about this. There are a lot of books coming out, especially in May. May has a ton of books that I'm interested in that are coming out, so it's kind of crazy. Like, July's the smallest one, and, well, August, but August is pretty far away, so that's probably why. So yeah, let's just dive right into these books because I'm really excited to talk about these. The first one is a multi-author series. There's going to be 2 multi-author series on here. One is just fantasy, and the other one is fairy tale retelling. So yeah, I'm very excited for both of these. And the first one that I have that's coming out May 3rd is Tainted Beauty. This is part of the All That Glitters multi-author series. I think this is the first one coming out. I have them in order, so I think so. There are some in this series that I'm not interested in that I'm not going to talk about, but this one's by Alesha Adamson. She wrote the Dark King and the Eternal Dance as part of the Villains Ever After multi-author series. I love that book. I haven't yet read the next 2 books in that kind of shared world yet, but I really love that book. And this one I think is a Beauty and the Beast retelling. I don't have all the fairy tales written down of all these that are, but these covers are gorgeous. I love these covers for this series. They're amazing. I'm super excited for this one. And also, I forgot to mention this before I jump on to the next book in this May list because I got so excited I forgot about this part. I have for each month I have wildcard books, which are books that they're by authors I haven't read before. Or they're in some way just a wild card because I'm not sure if I will personally like them or not, but I have them on here anyways because I am anticipating them. It's just like I've never read it for the author before, I've had problem books with them before, whatever. There's a multitude of reasons that are their wild cards. So anyways, we're just going to jump back into the main list now. It's also sometimes cloudy and sometimes sunny today, so sorry if the lighting keeps going up and down. I cannot control the sun. Okay. The next book on this list is part of the Tempting Thieves multi-author series, which I've already read the first book in that series, which was by Nikki Chapaway. I mentioned it. It didn't have a title at that point, but I mentioned it back in my other video. It was the April book that she had coming. I love that one. This one's also part of that same series. It's To Sway a Soul by Ireen Chau, I think. This is like Asian fantasy inspired. I'm really excited for this one. This one's coming out May 9th. Yeah, this one, I've only read one book by this author, which was the Herb Witch's Apprentice. I really did like that one. It was more like a cozy type fantasy book, but I've definitely wanted to try the next book in that series that she has, which I haven't yet because of course I haven't yet. Then we have a book I did mention in my previous video, but we have a confirmed date for it now. That is Courting a Superhero by Burke. This is the next book in her superhero romance project series. This one's coming out May 10th, so I'm not going to linger long on this one, but I really love her superhero books. If you've been on this channel any length of time, you know I've read almost all of them now. There's obviously this one upcoming, and then there's one other one that I own that I have not read yet. But yeah, regardless to say, I love her superhero books, and this one now has a cover and a date, so I thought I'd show it again. Yeah, very cute cover. Really looking forward to this one. Next one I'm also looking forward to, even though I'm going to be stressed beyond belief probably with this one. That is Bride of the Midnight Prince by Anastasis Blythe. I don't know if I'm saying the author's name correctly. I'm sorry if I'm not. This one is coming out May 13th. This is the sequel, standalone sequel to Bride of the Fey Prince, which I read back in March. Loved to pieces. This one is following one of the main characters in Bride of the Fey Prince, his best friend. So we're following his romance with a human because he's a fae. So very interested to see where this one goes, and I love these covers. They're really, really just gorgeous. So yeah, really excited to see where this goes. Also at the same time, I know I'm going to be stressed out of my mind. So that'll be fun to look forward to. Then we have another book in the Tempting Thieves series. That is To Sway a Trickster by Jess Drew. This is coming out May 23rd. I still have only read one book by Jess Drew, but I am convinced I'm gonna like them. like almost all of her books, so yeah, this one's on the list as well. And I think that this one's inspired by Greek mythology, if I remember correctly, so yeah, very similar to her Bound by Death book, which is the only one I've read so far. That one was also kind of like Greek and Egyptian mythology, but also with fae, so I don't know what this one's gonna have in it, but I'm very curious to find out. Then we have another book in the All That Glitters multi-author series, that is Rapunzel's Gambit by Mecham. This is coming out May 24th, and this cover is freaking epic. I love this cover. I love Rapunzel retellings. There's a dragon involved, and it looks like Rapunzel locked herself in a tower in order to, like, prove a point or get wealth or something. It's a very interesting concept that she has going for this book. Yeah, I was sold before I even saw the cover. I saw the cover and I'm even more sold now, so again, with this author, I've only still read one of her books too, but it had a very lasting impact on me, that book. That was Assassin of Fire and Sacrifice. So yeah, I really want to read this one when it comes out. Like, Rapunzel retelling, dragon, say no more. Then we have yet another one. This is, well, sort of links up to a Rapunzel retelling, which is the first book of this series, but this one is the 5th book of this series. I hope that sentence wasn't confusing. It probably was. It's coming out May 27th. That is The Keeper of the Tower by Michaela Bush. This is the 5th book in the Legend of Lanneria series. The Lady of Lanneria, which is a Rapunzel retelling, is the first book in that series, which is kind of what the confusing sentence was about to begin with. But yeah, I actually have an arc of this book. I have not read it yet. I really need to, but I haven't read it yet. But I am very excited for this one because, like, there's only 2 books left in the series, and I'm just... after the way book 4 ended, I'm just like, what the heck is gonna happen now? And I know this one is loosely inspired off the story of Gideon from the Bible, so that's gonna be very interesting. I'm curious to see how she's going to do that. But yeah, this is non-magical Christian fantasy. Yeah, I love the series, and it looks like we're gonna be back in the heads of at least the two main characters from the first book, Evangeline and Gabriel, so I'm really excited because I really like them. I think we're getting other points of view too. But from what I looked at when I was flipping through the arc that I got, we're getting their points of view, and I'm very excited because I love them from the first book. So yeah, I'm very excited to be back in their heads again, along with everybody else as well. Also coming out May 27th is the second book in the, what's it called? I forgot the series name. But anyways, it's A Wizard's Worth by Brittany Fichter. This is the sequel to A Wizard Awakened, which I read back in January and adored. I am so ready to be, again, stressed out and also, like, get some answers and, like, hopefully fix some things that got messed up at the end of book 1. And yeah, I definitely wanted to read this one. I hope I get on the ARC team for this one, but I don't know. As of now, I don't know. But I would love to, but even if I don't, I will get the ebook regardless because I need to know. I need answers. I need some more, like, I just need to hang out with these characters more. I need answers. I need more clarification on things. I'm probably not going to get any of it, but we shall see, and I am super, super excited for this one. Clean urban fantasy, yes, really good. On par with Magiford, in my opinion. I've only read book 1 so far, so that's high praise coming from me with only 1 book so far. But we shall see. And then we also have on May 31st, we have Golden Goose by Leah. Celestia said this on her channel when she read the other book, Doué. I think that's how you say it. There's an accent mark over the E, but I don't know how to do accent marks, so I'm terrible. But anyways, this one is also part of the All That Glitters fairy tale retelling series. I think this one's a retelling of the Goose Girl. I don't know if that's correct. I apologize if it's not. Like I said, I didn't check and I didn't write them down before. But this one, I loved her book. I've only read one of her books so far, which is Hansel and the Gingerbread Queen. I love that book. It's so cute. And this is like her first book she's published in a really long time. Since that book, which was also part of the Villains Ever After series, in case you want to check that one out too. And I'm really excited because I really like that one. So I'm hoping I like this one too. Again, haven't read any more of her books than this, but I'm excited anyways. And then we have my 3 wild cards for May. The first one is part of the Tempting Thieves multi-author series. That is To Sway a Rival by MJ I do not know how to say this author's last name. I'm going to put it down here where you can see it. I do not know how to say it. I think it's, I'm going to guess it's either like Scandinavian or like Icelandic or something. I'm not sure. I don't really want to mess it up though. So anyways, this one I believe is the author's debut novel because there are no other books listed for them on Goodreads. So it has a beautiful purple cover. It sounds really interesting, and yeah, so I definitely want to check this one out. It comes out May 30th. I just really like it, and yeah, something about the description of it, I don't exactly remember what it is because, you know, I researched these a while ago, wrote them down, and then of course now I'm getting around to filming the video because of course I am, because I'm late to everything these days. But yeah, something about this book is drawing me to it, and I hope it's good. The next two books are kind of linked, but I'll just go one at a time because I don't think with iMovie I can put up two pictures at the same time. So anyways, I'll try it, but I don't think that's possible. That is the DOSA files, Tales from the SVR Universe, volumes 2 and 3. These are short story collections that were edited and picked by H.L. Burke for... she sent out a call basically to other authors who wanted to write short stories in her superhero universe. And then she publishes them in these anthologies and then shares them with everybody else, obviously. And she did volume 1 last year. She got 2 volumes this year. She got a lot of stories apparently this year. She ran a Kickstarter for it. These books are coming out, but they're both coming out May 17th. I am a little hesitant about these. I do still want to try all 3 of them, obviously, but short story anthologies don't always work for me because sometimes, like, I only like some of the stories, but not all of them. The author herself, H.L. Burke, she also has a story in each of these collections as well. But I am curious enough that I definitely want to check them out, especially if any of these I do like, and then those people then go on to write their own superhero books. I definitely want to know about them, so I will be checking these out at some point. I just haven't yet. Sorry for this, like, camera angle change. My foot fell asleep, so I just have to sit differently. Anyways, we're going to jump on to June now because May had a lot of books. So yeah. So for June, all the previous books I mentioned in May, those are all actually indie published. So these are some of the first ones in June are the more traditionally published ones, mainly because they're manga. So, and I don't know of any independently published manga over here. So, anyways, the first one is Yona the Dawn, volume 44. Obviously, I'm super excited for this, even though I'm not reading the series right now because it needs to get to a more stable location before I can continue. And it's not there yet. So, anyways, that is coming out June 3rd. Also coming out June 3rd is My Hero Academia Volume 41. I am going to be reading this thing. I'm probably going to buy a copy same time I buy Yona because I need to know. I will need to know what goes down by this point because there are only 2 more volumes left in the series and I need to know. Yeah, that's just the full extent of it. Yeah. So, yeah, that one will be an immediate. And then we have on June 17th, we have Dark Moon, The Blood Altar, Volume 7, the finale of the series coming out. I also will need to know with this one because in Volume 6, everyone was almost dead and dying again. I swear, these guys are worse. Yeah, these guys are just terrible about getting themselves injured constantly. Like if you guys weren't vampires and werewolves, you would be dead by now. Yeah, that's how extreme it is. But yeah, I definitely need to know how it goes, and the bad guy needs to die. I do not care how horrifically he needs to die, he just needs to die. Anyways, moving back to the indie published books, the multi-author series, we have Feathered Thief, which is, again, part of the All That Glitters multi-author series. This is by J.M. Stengel, I think. That's how you say the author's last name. This is coming out on June 21st. This one, I believe... Oh, what is this one? This one's it's a retelling of... The Firebird, the Golden Firebird, I don't remember what it's called. I've read one retelling of this one. It was very loose. That was A Fated Quest by Selena R. Gonzalez. That's one of the tales that she had in that one, but I forget what it's called, a Firebird or something like that. This one, love the cover of this one. I've only ever read one book by this author, that is The Baker and the Wolf, which was part of the Villains Ever After series. I read that one, loved that one. I did try another book by her, but I couldn't get into it. I don't know if it was just my mood at the time or what. So yeah, I definitely want to try this one. I love this cover, and the concept is really intriguing because they're like, it's like this forbidden romance between this prince and this princess, I think it is. And then, like, they're made to forget each other. And then, like, they have to make their way back to each other. And it's a really interesting concept. I hope the book is big enough to follow through with it. Because if it's a novella, I'm not quite sure how that's going to work. But, yeah, so they have to, like, remember each other. And then come back to each other in some way, shape, or form. And it sounds very intriguing. Yeah. So, I'm very intrigued by this one. I definitely want to read this one, and, like, I definitely want to love it, if nothing else, because of this cover, because I would really like to see this cover in person. I'm going to be very sad if I don't like this one. I'm going to be very sad if I don't like any of these, honestly. And we have, coming out June 24th, we have Esperanza and Other Fantasy Short Stories by Michaela Bush. These are, obviously a compilation of just some fantasy short stories that she has, that she's putting in a book, and publishing. So yeah, Esperanza is also her short story that won the Clean Fiction Magazines contest back in, which magazine was it? I think it was either winter or spring of 2025. That her short story won that contest. I've had a couple of short stories win that contest before, so I was very excited for her when she won. And I've read the story. It's really good. So I'm definitely glad it's going to be in a collection with some other stories as well. And we have yet another All That Glitters book, and that is Snowbound by C.J. Brightly. This is coming out June 28th. This one is a retelling of East of the Sun, West of the Moon. Love the cover. The big polar bear, he looks nice and squishy. I want to hug him in the winter because he is nice and furry. I mean, I kind of have that already. My pony gets really, really furry. She turns into a little black bear. So, yeah, I kind of have that, but thankfully she doesn't have giant long claws and really pointy teeth of which to bite me with, though her teeth are hard enough when she bites. But anyways, beyond that, I'm really excited for this one. I loved her The Silent Prince book last year when I read it, which is my first and only book so far I've read by this author. That is a gender swap Little Mermaid retelling, and I loved that book. So I'm very excited for this one. Like all of these, but I'm just gonna keep saying that because my excitement is just overwhelming. I hope that shows. Then the next one is another H.L. Burke superhero book, and that is Game Changer. This is coming out June 27th. This is the second book in her second young adult series, which is called, I believe, the Supervillain Legacy Project. I think that's what it's called. I actually did look it up and I don't know. The first book in the series is Game On. I have not read that one yet. That is the only book so far, as of filming this anyways, that has been published that I have not read of her superhero books yet. I've read all the others, which is quite a feat because there's a lot of them. But yeah, so I definitely need to read that one so I can read this book when it comes out, because this sounds super intriguing. I really like it, and yeah, really like the concept of it. So yeah, and her previous young adult superhero series, which was the Supervillain Rescue Project series, that one is one of my favorites of hers, is that series. So yeah, I'm very happy that she's doing another YA series. And then my wild card for June is Stretched Thin by Amber Gabriel, and it's presented by H.L. Burke. This is a novella about a supervillain that she put into her Supervillain Rehabilitation Project series, and this author apparently liked the character enough. I think she's written several short stories in the anthologies I mentioned previously about this character. So she wrote a novella, and H.L. Burke, I guess, gave her the rights to publish this book. So yeah, I'm very curious about this one, because yeah, I have seen this villain. Obviously, when I read those novels, I saw the villain there, and yeah, I'm very curious to see how this works out, and yeah, to see a different author take on this superhero universe and stuff. So yeah, very curious about this one. It's a wild card though, because I've never read anything by this author before. So yeah, but it's part of that universe, just written by somebody else, and that's a very cool, interesting concept. So yeah, definitely looking forward to this one as well. A little less than some of these other ones, mainly because I don't really know what to expect with it, but I still want to try it. Okay, then we have July. July only has one book in it that I'm really excited for, and the other four. The other four are wild cards, because I've read nothing by these authors before. So anyways, so the one I'm really excited about that I definitely know I want to read the second there's either an arc opportunity or it comes out is To Slay a Knight Boldly by Nikki Chapelway. This one is kind of it's a sequel to her Bound by Knighthood book, which can be read as a standalone, but she decided to continue that story in this novel. This is coming out July 31st. I am excited for this. This sounds like everything's gonna go wrong, and it's gonna be a wild ride. Yeah, I'm very, very anticipating this one. I'm also a little hesitant because I think Nikki has said herself that this one's rather mean and brutal to her character, so I'm kind of like, what does that mean? Like, what did you do to them? So, a little nervous as well, but, yeah, I'm still very excited to try this one, as always with Nikki's books, and also I know the characters, so it's kind of like, ooh, where did their adventures go from here? Because, yeah, I definitely want to see, where they went after Bound by Knighthood, so, yeah, very excited for this one. And then we have my wild cards. Okay, the first one is another book, part of the All That Glitters series, that is Gilded Locks by Jolene Johnson. This one comes out July 5th. This one is, I think it's a retelling, oh yeah, this is the combination retelling of Goldilocks and Robin Hood. It's a very interesting concept. My least favorite cover of this series, though, I don't know, something's just off about it. This one, yeah, it sounded interesting. I think this is the author's debut novel because, again, I don't think she has any other books listed on Goodreads, so yeah, it sounds very interesting. I'm curious how those two combined are going to work out, so very curious about that one. Next one, with the gorgeous cover, another one in the same multi-author series, is Lost Starlight by Michaela Espow, I think? I don't know if that's how you say the author's last name. This is a Peter Pan retelling. This cover is just dang gorgeous. I love this cover. And this sounds like a very interesting concept because it sounds like Peter Pan himself is just a regular guy and then he somehow bizarrely made a deal with fairies, so now he's kind of just been cursed or kidnapped by them. And then his betrothed has no idea what happened to him, so she goes off to look for him because she thinks that maybe he left her because she's too shy and timid. And like, that is a very intriguing concept for Peter Pan. So yeah, I'm not a fan of the original tale itself. I read it once and I did not like it. But retellings of it are usually pretty interesting. So yeah, I'm very curious about this one. So yeah, this one comes out July 12th. Yeah, I think this is the last one in that series, as well, but don't quote me on that because I have no idea. It's okay. So the next one is, this is part of the, I talked about this series in my previous video about these books, and that is the Blood of Kings Legends series. So Blood of Kings is a Christian fantasy series written by Jill Williamson. And so this one is, she's teamed up with a kind of independent publisher to help other authors write about characters in her world, kind of similar to the Stretched Thin book I just mentioned that H.L. Burke's doing with this other author. So similar to that, where these authors have written stories in the Blood of Kings world, but with her characters and stuff like that. I think some of them are new characters too. But anyways, this is one of those books in that series. This is the third one in that series. That is Lady of Shadows, by Kelly Fernlake. This one comes out July 15th. This one just sounds really interesting, and I actually remember one of the characters from that book because I read the Blood of Kings trilogy a long time ago. But Lady Tara was a character in there, and I was like, I remember her. And this sounds like it's a forbidden love trope between her and like her bodyguard. I love those types of things. So like the bodyguard romance, I kind of like that too. I think at least most of the romances that I know of that are like that, I'm drawn to them. So maybe that's a trope I like. I don't know. The major one that I know of that I like is Yona the dog. But anyways, but yeah, this one just sounds really intriguing, really interesting. Obviously, never read anything by this author before because this is her first book. So yeah, I'm very excited for this one, and the cover's really, really pretty. Okay, so this one, aside from like Lady of Shadows, is the only other one that is a kind of traditionally published book. This one is, okay, I've never read anything about this author before. I do not know what she writes in her books. Like, this is really traditionally published, like secular traditionally published. So I don't know what could be in here. Fair warning on this one. I have no clue if she puts agenda stuff in her books. I have no idea. My library does have 2 of her books, though. I'm planning on trying those out just to see. And that is Steel and Spellfire by Laura E. Weymouth, I think. This one just looks intriguing. This cover is gorgeous. It is coming out July 22nd. This is kind of, I think it's kind of Regency setting, but with magic. It reminded me, when I read the back summary of the plot, it reminded me very similarly to The Herb Witch's Apprentice, which I've already previously mentioned, which is kind of like, it's also a Regency style, but there's like magic, and it's kind of like forbidden. I don't know if it's forbidden in this world, and this girl's obviously using magic on the cover, but there's something about magic, and it's like a Regency-inspired thing. I think it's also set in England, or like an England-style world. So this one just sounds intriguing. Again, though, I don't know if she sticks agenda stuff in her books. I don't know, like, what kind of things in it, because it's a secular published book. But, yeah, I'm anticipating this one definitely lower than some of these other ones, but I definitely want to try it, at least, and see what I think, because the cover's really pretty, the premise is really intriguing. I think it's another forbidden romance, too. I'm just really into those, apparently. I don't know if I don't think he's a bodyguard. I think he is a guard, but I don't think he's a bodyguard of her, so I don't know. But I'm interested to try this one, regardless. And then we have my final section, which is for August. Thankfully, unlike July, I have more books that I'm actually anticipating rather than wildcard ones. The first one is A Tangle of Iron and Feathers by Sarah Baran. This one comes out August 5th. This one is part of a series which I have not started yet. I know Lindsay has read the entire series, is eagerly anticipating this one. It is a combination retelling of Mulan and the Goose Girl. Very intrigued to see how that goes. It is the 4th, yes, I think so, the 4th book in this series. I don't remember the series name, because of course I don't. But this cover is really intriguing. The idea is really intriguing that of these 2 tales put together. And I'm curious to see how this goes down. Obviously, I haven't read the other books in this series yet, like any of them. I have the first 2, so I'm kind of halfway there. So, and we have another book in another series I haven't even started yet. That is Escaping Pirates by Mary Mecham. This is coming out August 8th. This is the 4th, I think. Yes, I think it's the 4th book in the, what's it called? Her Neverland series. It's something Neverland. I forgot what it is. It's not Heirs of Neverland. That's this duology by Kara Swanson. That's the only one I can think of, though. Anyways, it's something with Neverland. And this one is a Cinderella retelling where she's captured by pirates and, like, forced to serve the pirate captain and his, like, bratty daughters. And I think based on the description, I think she has a forbidden attraction or romance with the cabin boy. Okay, this sounds really good. I don't know why. This one I had saved on my list even before some of the other books in the series. And, like, I am just, yeah, this one just sounds really good. I really want to read this one. Obviously, I gotta read the rest of the books in that series first. I have 2 of them. And my library actually has the other one that I'm missing, which is kind of surprising. I was looking on there and I was like, wait, they have these books? So that's cool. So yeah, I'll actually be able to read them all. So that's cool. Always really, really cool if I can find them and I don't have to buy them. The next one is also a series I have not started yet, mainly because I'm waiting for the rest of these to be published. That's Fly to Fury by Tara Grace. This is the 3rd, right? Yes, the 3rd book in her War of the Alliance series. It is the sequel series to the Elven Alliance series. This one's coming out August 22nd. I am really excited for this. This is about one of the main couple's sons. And this is like a war that they alluded to at the end of Elven Alliance series that would happen probably a long time in the future. And yeah, now we're at that time. I do know the author. This is, I believe, going to be a 5-book series. The author is planning on rapid releasing the last 3 books, so books 3, 4, and 5. So I don't know the titles of 4 and 5 yet. I don't know when they're going to be released, but I do know she's trying to rapid release them, so they would probably only be like a month or a few weeks apart. So yeah, just wanted to mention that in case you're like me and you're waiting for the whole series to come out before you start with book 1, just so that in case they're like really addictive and really bad sometimes at like cliffhangers. Not only one of the books technically had a cliffhanger in the Elven Alliance series, but if you just want to binge the whole thing, if you're like me and you're just waiting for the rest of the series to come out so you can do that, that's how she's planning it with the series. But yeah, regardless though, I really want to try this series. I kind of have a feeling I'm gonna like it. But yeah, I really just want to dive into this one. So yeah. And the last book I'm going to be talking about, which is my wild card for August, is The Nightmare Queen by Anastasis Blythe. This comes out August 18th. This one is the 3rd book in a trilogy she has. I think it's the Never Seen... I don't know. I don't remember. I think the first book is The Assassin Bride. I think that's the title. I'm probably incorrect. But anyways, this is the 3rd and final book of that trilogy. This ties into the world of Bride of the Fey Prince. So yeah, it talks about a character who appeared there briefly, the Never Seen King. So apparently, yeah, this is a trilogy that kind of lightly ties into that series, because it's like in the same Fae universe. Obviously, I have not read the first 2 books of this series, so like this one's like, I'm probably not gonna get to this one this year, but or anytime soon. But yeah, this one I just wanted to mention because it is coming out, and in case you're unlike me and you're not on a strict budget, you could like buy the first 2 books and read them, or read them on Kindle Unlimited. I think they're on Kindle Unlimited. Don't quote me on that one. I don't know. I don't really look at that because I don't have KU. So anyways, but yeah, still, I'm very excited for any book that she publishes, because that, yeah, Bride of the Fey Prince ruined me. So yeah, but yeah, these are all the books I am anticipating for the 2nd quarter of the year. I am so excited for so many of these. I will probably not be able to get all of them at once, which is probably good because I have 1,000,001 ebooks that I still haven't read. Yeah, because I just keep getting them. I am reading them, but I tend to then just read the new ones I get, not the old ones that have been sitting there for like 4+ years, and let's just not talk about that because it is a bad habit of mine. So I need to read some of those older ones. I do sometimes, but we're not going there. Anyways, but yeah, these are all the books I'm anticipating. If you guys have any books that you know of that are not on this list that you were anticipating within May, June, July, or August, please let me know down below in the comments. I would love to look up more books and add more to my never-ending TBR. And yeah, I hope a lot of these books ended up on your guys' TBRs, or maybe you weren't aware of some of them, or if you want to talk about any of them, like, whether you got, like, yeah, if you want to talk about, like, obviously we can't talk too detail about any of these because nobody's read them yet, but, and if you have read an art book, please no spoilers, because obviously we all don't want to be spoiled, what is that? That's not a word. Anyways, yeah, I hope you guys enjoyed this video. I hope you guys enjoyed my excitement and all my rambles. Let me know down below if you're excited for any of these books or any others that I didn't mention. I always love hearing from you guys. Thank you guys so much for watching this video. I hope you have a great rest of your day, and I will see you next time.